All right, here we go. This is the Scorpio Moon Astro Download. I didn't look at anything in the actual charts. This is going off of pure, not only inspiration from the Kendrick Lamar album. Shout out to you, baby. I'm only like 3 songs in and you already sparked so much emotion in me. And this is Scorpio. This is the eclipse, unleashing deep-seated emotions that was so calloused, so hard in its shell, that the soft, gushy parts of everything Scorpio related was pretty much without such a cataclysmic event like this eclipse. The blood moon, I got pictures this morning and it was legit red. The hue was red, and it's like I'm getting this understanding that each of us, depending on your placements, for sure the degree of this can be a little altered, but I know for me as a Scorpio 12th house, Kendrick said one of the things about essentially retribution with the ancestors, and how this in a sense came in the form of, if I'm talking slavery in this particular instance, okay, I am a black male in this particular lifetime, it's like getting retribution in a sense through banging that white girl's whose father was the sheriff who put my uncle in jail. And I heard that and something was like but it wasn't the original part where he's still here in California. It was more of when he's now in Copenhagen, and I'm thinking about my own, like my own lives came through, and I'm sitting here wondering certain things, and he's like, yeah, my ancestors was laughing in these moments. Now, I'm not trying to sit there and criticize or you know, really overly kill that particular message, but there's like, this is really a part of my actual life story. Like, you know, I'm in Thailand, I'm in Germany, I'm in these different places, and it's like I've dated different European women, for example, and so it's like I'm listening to it and I'm like, holy crap. Now, I give you this premise for a reason, to bring you back to the Scorpio message when the moon is now in Scorpio and this eclipse, this lunar eclipse just kicked off. All right, and work with me. Obviously hit that thumbs up if you're resonating so far, 222 on screen, but work with me. All right, because this is still formulated even as I speak. Real life Gemini poo, Gemini poo. Last night was my nephew's birthday, and this astro download is a reminder that Scorpio itself as a signal, as a sign, when it's not in its revenge, evil, unforgiving states, I as a Scorpio rising speak this, it is a symbol, an archetype, an energy, okay, a whole constellation of purity, the purest soul. So we already kicked this off in the Aries new moon, brand new step into that identity we got and felt valuable and worthy in that. Now we're going off to Gemini and we're starting to communicate that with random people, okay, just curiously. Officially by Cancer moon, we're feeling like, oh crap, I now know that your emotions and my emotions are very clearly different, and I can see the difference in the energetic fields. Great. Because of this, I'm able to more uniquely be myself, Leo, with confidence, courage, and boldness, saying, you know what, F your tribe, I got my tribe, I am my tribe. And then Virgo brought out the receipts, where now that you own and honor yourself so much, the levels of jealousy and depreciation, even though in reality there are many people that are appreciating, but they'll come off silently and show and reveal how much hate they have in their heart. And that was the message I put out about black heart receipts. Go check that, because this is one of the most game changer, underrated videos that I ever think I put out. And it was only like 4 or 5 days ago when the moon's in Virgo. Now we went to Libra, where as those receipts sat there and got collected in, the Justice Department, aka Libra, went ahead and delivered literally divine justice, and you would have seen what that looked like. Now we're at Scorpio and the moon here right before Sag. So here's what I'm understanding, okay, that divine justice is not just divine justice in this particular lifetime. I had a conversation with a young man last night, actually a lot of people. The purity of my soul is now sitting there having a moment where it's like, yo, I so don't care about how other people see me, whether I wear the purple, blue, black bandana, earrings. I don't even have any jewelry at all in the moment. Nothing. I don't, how I look, what I do, and it's like all my life I felt like a killer. All right, hear me out. And like, where's this guy going? This guy's like left, right, up, down. All my life, I felt like, yo, I am beyond capable of murdering somebody. In fact, I have to try very hard not to murder somebody. Now, these were the stages when I'm still angry black man going through what police brutality looks like and just completely unforgiving. Like, no, you should not be able to, no, this taser should not be, no, we should not be going through windows, and no, I shouldn't ask you for help and I get my ass whooped, right? So it's like, when I was able to get beyond some of these steps, okay, some of this human carcass reality that I have to face just because of my skin color, what ended up happening? Why during these time frames did I walk around and I was like, yo, I was always ready. I swear to God, I was always ready. To the point where I've almost crossed that line too many times, and I didn't recognize it until I had two 16-year-old little cousins that I'm talking to at my nephew's birthday party, and I'm telling them, yo, it ain't worth the fight, bro. I promise you, I done did the fight thing too much. I done got my wrist locked up too many times. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It never is. It never will be. And I was able to tell them from a different experience, where now I'm surrounded by 100 people in Bali, Indonesia, 2.5 hours away from anything Taurus related, by a volcano. By a volcano. I'm not gonna fight my way through those 100 people who are just a tribe. There's no law out there. I'm gonna get my ass buried in the dirt if that was what I continued to maintain. So transformation, aka Scorpio, we are understanding right now during the Scorpio moon, what has our transformations done? And I'm gonna bring you back to that European thing in a moment. So make sure you remind me. Somebody, when you listen to this, go ahead, hit that thumbs up and remind me. I'll bring you back to that European thing. Now, the transformations, aka the depth of one thing into the light of something different, that's required to have us dig deeper into the depths of everything we are, so that we can then shine this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. And this is looking like the purity of your soul. If you allow the purity of your soul to shine, when I was able to transfer the death rebirth process, okay, I literally have felt like a murderer in some way, shape, or form my whole life. And I know, and eventually, listen, okay, I'm still uploading everything that I'm receiving this morning. And this is all for inspiration. Okay, I might need to like sit down. I'm gonna sit right here on this curve so I can actually focus for a moment. Okay. When I step back now, and I'm in my own hometown, this is literally my high school. I come here almost all the time to go work out. Well, that's my middle school. That's my high school. And so I'm here now on some of those grounds when I'm playing sports, where I'm hitting people so hard that their eyes are rolling backwards. And I've, even through sports, felt like, oh my God, did I just kill that guy? And I was able to tell my cousins, I'm 8th house Cancer, right? I'm Cancer family, 8th house. I'm able to tell my cousins through real life experiences that, like, look, I've watched real people die in real life, gunshot wounds, stabbings, and I've also almost killed multiple people, some by accident, some on purpose. And I'm glad that I never had to have that happen. Now, what I didn't understand during this time frame is that I exercise demons for a living today, okay? The metaphysical, occult, mystical, Scorpio. I literally exercise demons for a living. Literally. I slay the bad guys that come out at night. But these bad guys come out in the daytime. Just like they did when I was growing up in the physical 3D, aka third density, this reality. What's my point? Part of the purity of my soul is, as a light worker, as a fire sign, you know, I think people like to think that light worker means like, oh, you know, I don't know, like you're an angel or something. I mean, I guess technically, yes, I am. Technically, we are. A lot of us are. But when it really comes down to it, it's like, it's kind of more like that show, Warrior Nun. I think it was Warrior Nun, where it's like, yeah, when you get hit with the light, you just evaporate, you implode. Now, obviously, we're in this third density, so we're in a human body, so it looks very different. It looks very different. So that's one standpoint, but the reality of it all stands, where I literally do help people deal with the biggest demons that have been sitting inside them. Most are not even from this lifetime of their 30, 40 years that they've lived when they come see me. Most are from past life regressions, okay? 12th house Scorpio, being able to dig so deep into the infinite abyss of nothing to help transform that little light of theirs into something completely and totally different. These transformations are entirely permanent. Understand that is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is permanent. Why is this stuff happening? Okay, this is ultimately preparing and prepping us for what's going down in the implosion of Pluto in Capricorn. All right, this is a glimpse of understanding that the institutions that have already existed, the structures, the societies that have been built on false power through false image. Think Capricorn is negative. It's like it's willing to do anything for power. It's willing to step on anybody for power. This eclipse has officially helped so many people close out doors within wherever Scorpio sits in your chart, okay, but close out doors that has not allowed them to embrace the purity of their soul. So if I give you an example, the purity of my soul in this particular instances, I am a killer, quite frankly, simple, but I'm not killing people, right? I'm killing the in all sincerity, I mean, there's so many different things. I don't even know how to call it. Interdimensional essences, spirits, demons, vamps, fairies, they all exist. They all exist. And I was able, through conversations with my little 16-year-old cousins, able to watch with the clarity of my eyes, right? Taurus season, physical eyes, but Scorpio moon, it's like the metaphysical, that very clearly one of my cousins was like, oh snap, I've been waiting to hear this all my life. And my other cousin was like, I'm just over here because y'all look kind of cool right now. So this is the best spot that I can be. But I really don't believe anything you're saying. And so I had a chance to actually give 2 of my bracelets away, and I told them how to clean them. I gave 1 to each. One was black, one was white, and that was the irony, because the black one was the cousin, the black bracelet I had, black onyx, was the cousin that was like, he was all in. And the other cousin that I gave the white onyx, he was kind of like, So in a sense, he kind of represented the Capricorn, like, you know, public image, the Libra public image, like just being around for an intentional reason, but the intention didn't necessarily have to be pure. So whatever it was, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But the point is, one was black, one was white, yin, yang. Look at the irony. One was interested, one was not, right? And the metaphysical properties of Scorpio's abilities allows us to start to see the full truth of that. But we can only do and see that if we're being the most purest version of ourselves. All right. Now, for me, I'm a Scorpio rising, so it is for me literally myself. Now, you would have to apply that for yourself. Like if it's in the 4th house, if it's in the 6th house, if it's in the 10th house, you have to apply that for yourself and apply it to your degree. Where, you know, my particular degree, let's say for Scorpio, is 23. I'm a 23rd degree Scorpio rising. All right. So it's like this has some of that Aquarian cosmic element to it, where it's like, yup, my transformations literally come from the future. So it's like the purity of that soul is willing to embrace that not everybody's going to get it, not everybody's going to understand. But even that 50% out of that 2 examples of my 2 cousins, that 1 and that 2, one followed, one didn't. One followed my channel, one didn't. When we're working with purity, what never matters is anything fake, okay? Anything that is false appearing to be real does not matter. And Scorpio moon is allowing us to see that, but also, in a sense, have a killer instinct for that. And that's what I think is really critical, a killer instinct for that, because this is the part where we're now leaving. Scorpio moon is the social collective. I mean, I'm sorry, it's the interpersonal relationships, but it's the height of it, right? So it's like the reason why it doesn't really F with you is because if you fake, it just is automatic. It's like, I don't F with you. Whatever the house is, whatever the degree it sits in, if you fake, not even a negotiation. And Kendrick Lamar in his new album has said that. He's like, this ain't a negotiation. I heard things, I'm talking about seraphims, right? We're talking some of the highest level angels that we at least are familiar with on that fire angel realm, closest in a sense to divinity, closest in a sense to the light, the dielectric, the black light. You know, they're talking chakras. Dr. Sebi living through him. He's cleaning out his bowels and all the bacteria in his gut. It's like, yes, 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 yes. Okay, this is the type of information where the creatives out here, the creatives are actually having the stage to pull up. And you see this in music, and you see this in every creative art right now. People are speaking the information that has always been there. And we can all see it. And this eclipse has helped us to close doors that has blocked us from living in that truest version of purity. And this is what's incredible. Now, I want to bring it back to the European thing for a specific reason, right? Now, I'm Cancer 8th house, okay, in Mars, literally, Pluto's owner, as well as Pluto 12th house, as well as Scorpio rising, right? And a bunch of other Cancer 8th houses in different placements. My point is, out of the family, Cancer, I see the unseen, 8th house. Great. Okay, now, within myself, as Scorpio rising, Pluto 12th house, I can literally dive to the deepest light of all ancestors, okay? But beyond the ancestors and say past life regressions. And this is what's critical. Why? Because one of my past life regressions, I'm very familiar that I watched a lot of war during medieval time frame. And it was me and another witch, actually, who was watching this stuff. In this type of past life, I was either a sorcerer or a wizard. I forget which one. And yes, there is a difference. But I forget which one. And so my point is, we watched this war at medieval times, like with the Crusaders and religion. And we were like, oh, this is really bad. This is going to last for eons. And whenever the Crusaders was going on, think about that time frame to now. So I don't know the real time frame, but we knew, I was like, oh crap. If we miss this cycle, we're gonna have to watch this foolery and this effery for a long time, which eventually turned into religion. So now we see religion doing what? Falling through, it's falling out. This is Neptune in Pisces. In a sense, by 2025, everybody's gonna understand that religion is whatever it is. Science is whatever it is. And we're walking into more natural sciences. Look at the song Kendrick Lamar's talking about, natural sciences, talking about work that Dr. Sebi was literally bopped for. He got bopped. You can't even say his name on any post without getting spam of chlamydia and gonorrhea. I remember every time I would tag hashtag Dr. Sebi on Instagram, I would get all types of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and like it would be so annoying. You could press remove and report, and they would just keep pulling up. So these are some of the this is some of the noise that was used to say, you know what, you can see this with the purity of your soul, but the purity of your soul will be punished by something that's going to annoy you. So what this did, this separated the superficial from the real. That's what happened during this time frame. It was like you either going to rock with it and you're going to say, nope, I'm just not going to use Dr. Sebi's hashtag because he's talking about natural sciences. Okay, Uranus and Taurus, natural medicine, natural sciences, progressive support on the natural physical body and how we take care of it and how we don't take care of it. Literally, this is what's going on then. So if I take it a step further, what did the European thing have to do with anything, right? All right, when you have intercourse with anybody, and let's say the Johnson head touches the back of, let's say your celestial walls as a woman, there's a certain point where when these two things, these two tips in the back of the wall touch, your pain will begin to unlock. Your knowing will begin to unlock. It'll go, bing! Your past lives, bing! Ancestral DNA and knowledge, bing! Unique superpowers, abilities, gifts, and skills that you have, bing! That may still need to be practiced, but all these things unlock. So it's like, if I take a German, for example, and I've dated at least 3 Germans, right? These are some of our oppressors, and I've had these really, really tough conversations. Now, when these two walls touch, okay, these 2 points touch, what happens? Past lives of mine and that person's will get reactivated. And so I've witnessed and had to work through many different, honestly, annoyances when it comes to like racism and like what it is, what it ain't, what I learned, what you learned, and what ways are you being unconsciously racist and this and that. And it's like, But what it really was doing as I step outside of this form, okay, outside of this carcass, outside of my own mental conditioning and programming, what is it really happening from a more, let's say, cosmic understanding, literally, Aquarius. I was activating certain memories, past lives, and triggers that was working me through certain healings that would remove the fog. And this is what Scorpio does. It has the ability to see through the fog, see through Neptune's illusion and delusion, whether positive or negative, neither of them or whatever. They're just a part of our imagination. So my point there is, when Kendrick spoke on that song, it really helped giving me certain confirmations of, look, just for this particular instance, any of the women that I connected with at this level, okay, where now our ancestral DNAs are crossed, what am I doing? It's like time lock when I get to meet these people, but also like abilities are unlocked when those things touch, which will come at a certain trauma and pain, but all that's doing is removing away, closing certain doors so that new ones can open. This is literally what's happening in these instances. So that's why you have to be very mindful of who you do have intercourse with, right? That's why you gotta be mindful of what you do put on your body. Let's get back to the Dr. Sebi session. My point is, this is so game changer. When I heard a little bit of this album, I only 3 songs in, I had to come out here and start talking to you on this message, because this is the eclipse. And ultimately it's like, it gave me so much more understanding of like, I was like thinking when my first thought I had when I woke up in the morning was, yo, honestly, when it comes down to it, I don't want nobody ever has the right or ability to tell me nothing about my career choices, my personal lifestyle, how I travel. What is that? Do not enter. You may not enter, okay? Return to sender. You got to return to sender to these people, all right? And this with unlimited time frame, okay? There's no time when you can enter with the nonsense and the effery. All right, you come pure, you come correct from the jump, or you don't come at all. It is pretty much that simple. So my point is, as this guy annoys the heck out of me, look at this devil. Look at it. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say, look at this. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. My point is, I was thinking when I first woke up how I used to wake up at 2 in the morning. I used to wake up at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. And this is when I wasn't unable to walk. Okay, trauma, pain, right? A story that I was holding on to. I was unable to, Scorpio, fixed sign. I was unable to walk for about 8 months. But was that the simplicity of it? No. At that time, I was an exercise physiologist and I was making every excuse. I was playing victim, 12th house, Pluto in 12th house. I was playing in a disempowered state. And then eventually what happened, I was like, look, you know what? I need to fix myself. I'm not going to listen to the doctors, Uranus and Taurus, false medicine, bringing us to the natural medicine, shaking up the false medicine, bringing us to the more natural forms of holistic practices that takes care of our body, okay, ultimately, which leads to our ability to go from 2nd house to 8th house. 2nd house is physical and natural, okay, and then 8th house is now in that metaphysical space. So be able to go through the body physically, we got to heal and correct that so that we actually have access to our spirit, access to our soul, access to our past life, access to our gifts that are more in the invisible sense, telepathy, psychic abilities, whatever, astral protection, call it what you want, okay? Eventually waking up at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, going to the facility that at that point I had ownership of, that particular facility, where I'm now, before my job starts at 6 in the morning, and this is when I was working more in the fitness space, I was already in there from 3 in the morning. So now from 3 to 5 a.m., I was in the process of healing my knees, and no one knew that I couldn't walk at that time. I was just pushing through, okay? Literally just pushing through. And at this point, like some of this point, I don't know if it was at this job specifically, but at one of these points at this job when I wasn't able to walk, I remember I had to take Oxy, which I really don't ever do nothing in the sense of any type of white drug, period. And it's like, but I had no choice. And I had to get through the pain. I had to go through something I didn't want to do to get through the pain long enough so that I can actually get to the point where I don't have to do it anymore. That got me to the position I was in. And so for that 2 hours from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., you know, in the first like 1 to 2 hours, if I woke up at 1, it's like just me, like, I don't even know what I was doing in that first time frame. But I remember being in the gym around like 3 in the morning, waking up at 2, sometimes at 1, just motivated to address the purity of my soul, to go through this next transformation and let go of a story that kept me trapped, that kept me stuck in turbulent and rocky emotions, okay? Dirty, mucky, unprocessed, ungrieved emotions, Scorpio. To then go ahead and work the whole day, which really I would be leaving at like, I think 1 p.m. I think 1 p.m. Sometimes the push would be like 4 p.m. So it's like, okay, from 3 in the morning, I'm in this gym to 4. That's like 11 hours a day. And half of those hours were not required. Literally half of those hours were not required. Maybe like 6 of them. 6. So that extra 5 hours was just the extra work that allowed us to press into our purity, or at least for me in this instance, that allowed me to press into the purity of my soul to transform and close doors. So what I feel like I need to say right now is, understand that if you're stepping in this spiritual space, you want to be some kind of teacher, some kind of educator, some kind of guru, some kind of master, whatever the hell it is, some kind of leader. First off, lead with vulnerability, okay? Because true leaders lead with vulnerability. But beyond that, my point now is it's going to cost you a certain amount of pain in this physical world before you can enter second house, before you can enter the metaphysical, occult, mysticism, the space of everything that I just said, 8th house. It's going to cause you some pain. That pain looks like you're closing doors. Look at where Scorpio and the degree sits in your chart and understand this will close. With or without your permission, it will close. And trust me, it's way more painful, it's way more traumatic when you try to fight that ooh. Don't fight the ooh, I did that. It is not worth it. It's not worth it. It ain't worth it. You no longer need permission to be pure. I promise you, you will be guided, you will be protected. You will be guided, you will be protected. And that's my absolute promise. Thank you for this. I'm about to go work out. I got way too many things to do. This retrograde is kicking my booty. It got me on backed up, everything. All right, I'm out, baby.